She stood at the edge of the stage, heart pounding, the spotlight burning into her skin. The crowd's cheers still echoed from her performance, a flawless blend of soul and fire that had left them on their feet. But then, without warning, he pushed her literally, his hands on her shoulders, shoving her off the stage at the 2024 Grammys. The gasps from the audience were drowned out by the thud of her fall. A black woman, a rising star, publicly humiliated by a manager who thought he could control her moment. But the world didn't know that in just 1 year, she'd returned to the Grammy stage, not just to perform, but to push him out of the industry for good. Where are you watching from today? New York, London, Lagos, or somewhere else? Drop your city in the comments below, and let's see how far this story resonates. Her name was Aisha Carter, a 28-year-old singer from Atlanta whose voice could shift from a velvet whisper to a roar that shook the soul. By 2024, Aisha had clawed her way up from open mic nights in smoky bars to a Grammy nomination for Best New Artist. Her debut album, Roots Unbound, was a love letter to her heritage, blending R&B, gospel, and hip-hop with lyrics that cut deep, stories of struggle, resilience, and joy. Critics called it a revolution in sound. Fans called it church you could dance to. The Grammy nod was validation, a ticket to the big leagues, and Aisha was ready to claim her moment. He was Michael Langston, a 45-year-old music manager with a reputation for making stars and breaking them. Langston had a knack for spotting talent, but his methods were ruthless. He'd signed Aisha early, promising to guide her to the top. At first, he delivered studio time with top producers, sold-out shows, a deal with a major label. But his control was suffocating. He dictated her song choices, her outfits, even her interviews. "You're too raw," he'd say, "tone it down. America's not ready for all that blackness." Aisha bristled but complied, trusting his experience, until the night of the 2024 Grammys. They met 2 years earlier at a showcase in Los Angeles. Aisha, then 26, had just finished a set that left the room buzzing. Langston approached her, all smiles and promises, his tailored suit and slick talk making him seem like the key to her dreams. "I can make you a star," he said, handing her a business card. Aisha, still catching her breath, nodded. She didn't see the strings attached. Not yet. The 2024 Grammys were Aisha's moment. She was nominated alongside heavyweights, and her performance slot was prime time. She'd chosen a medley from Roots Unbound, a bold statement about her identity and her journey. The rehearsals were flawless, her team buzzing with excitement, but Langston was on edge. "Don't go too political." He warned her backstage, his voice low but sharp. "Keep it safe, smile, be grateful." Aisha's jaw tightened. She wasn't here to play small. The performance was electric. Aisha commanded the stage, her voice soaring over a gospel choir, her dancers moving like a protest and a celebration all at once. The crowd was on its feet, the energy seismic. As she hit her final note, the applause roared. She turned to exit, still basking in the moment when Langston appeared from the wings. His face was a mask of fury. "You went too far," he hissed, stepping close. Before she could respond, his hands were on her shoulders, pushing her hard. She stumbled backward, off the stage, into the darkness below. The fall wasn't high, maybe 3 feet, but it felt like a lifetime. Aisha landed on her side, pain shooting through her arm. The crowd's cheers turned to gasps, then murmurs. Security rushed to her, but Langston was already gone, melting into the chaos. Cameras caught it all. The push, the fall, the shock on Aisha's face. By morning, the clip was viral. Headlines screamed, "Manager assaults rising star at Grammys." Social media erupted, with #justice for Aisha trending worldwide. Fans demanded answers. Why had he done it? Was it jealousy? Control? Something darker? Langston issued a statement through his PR team. "It was an accident. I was trying to guide Aisha offstage in the rush of the moment. I deeply regret any distress caused." Aisha read it from her hotel room, her arm in a sling, her phone buzzing with messages of support and threats from Langston's allies. "You'll ruin yourself if you fight this." One text read. She stared at the screen, her anger building. She wasn't just fighting for herself. This was bigger. The industry closed ranks around Langston. He was a power player with connections to labels, producers, and award show organizers. Whispers spread that Aisha had provoked him, that she was difficult, too outspoken. Some blogs even suggested she'd staged the fall for attention, but Aisha wasn't alone. Her fans, her community, and a few brave industry insiders rallied behind her. A lawyer, Tasha Reynolds, reached out pro bono. "We can take him down," Tasha said, "but it won't be easy." The next year was a war. Aisha filed a lawsuit against Langston for assault and defamation, alleging he'd sabotaged her career with lies and intimidation. The legal battle was brutal. Langston's team painted Aisha as unstable, leaking old emails where she'd argued with him over creative control. "She's ungrateful," they said. "We made her." Aisha countered with evidence. Texts where Langston mocked her heritage, contracts that gave him disproportionate control over her earnings, and witness statements from crew members who'd seen his temper. The public fight was only half the battle. Aisha's mental health took a hit. She stopped performing, haunted by the image of that fall. Nightmares woke her, his hands on her shoulders, the crowd's gasps echoing. Her therapist urged her to channel the pain into her music, so she did. Aisha locked herself in the studio, writing songs that bled with raw emotion. Her new single, "Push Back," was a defiant anthem, its lyrics a direct jab at Langston. "You thought you'd break me, but I'm still standing. Your hands can't hold what the world's demanding." The song dropped in September 2024 and exploded. It hit #1 on the charts, its video, a recreation of the Grammy fall, ending with Aisha rising, unbroken, amassing millions of views. The industry couldn't ignore her now. Promoters who'd blacklisted her started calling. Labels that had sided with Langston began to waver. Aisha's team, led by Tasha, dug deeper, uncovering a pattern. Other artists, mostly women of color, who'd suffered under Langston's control. One, a singer named Jada, came forward with her own story of verbal abuse. Another, a producer named Maya, revealed Langston had stolen her credits. The #Justice for Aisha movement grew into #TakeDown Langston. By January 2025, the Grammys loomed again. Aisha was nominated for 3 awards: Best R&B Album, Best Song, and Album of the Year. The Recording Academy, under pressure from fans and activists, invited her to perform. But there was a catch. Langston was still a voting member, still invited to the ceremony. Aisha's team debated pulling out, but she refused. "I'm not running," she said. "This is my stage." Backstage, tensions boiled. Aisha's new manager, Simone, a black woman who'd risen through the ranks at a rival label, kept her grounded. "You're not just performing," Simone told her. "You're reclaiming." Aisha chose "Push Back" for her performance, a deliberate middle finger to Langston. She spent weeks perfecting the choreography, the visuals, the choir, every detail a testament to her resilience. Meanwhile, Langston was unraveling. His clients were dropping him, his allies distancing themselves. Rumors swirled that he'd confront Aisha at the Grammys, desperate to salvage his reputation. The night before the ceremony, Aisha got a call from an unknown number. It was Langston. His voice was slurred, desperate. "You're ruining me," he said. "You think you're some hero. You're nothing without me." Aisha's hands shook, but her voice was steel. "You pushed me off that stage, Michael. Tomorrow, I'm pushing you out of this industry." She hung up, heart racing, knowing the showdown was coming. The 2025 Grammys were electric with anticipation. Aisha's performance was slated for the second hour, and the crowd buzzed with rumors of her feud with Langston. He was there, seated in the third row, his face a mask of forced calm. Aisha took the stage in a custom gown, black and gold, her hair in braids that framed her like a crown. The lights dimmed and "Push Back" began. The choir's voices rose, the dancers moved like warriors, and Aisha's voice was a weapon, sharp, unyielding, cutting through the room. The crowd was on its feet, roaring. As the final note rang out, Aisha locked eyes with Langston. She didn't flinch. The cameras caught it all, the moment frozen in time. Then, a twist no one saw coming mid-performance, the screen behind Aisha lit up with testimonies from Jada, Maya, and others Langston had wronged. Their faces, their voices, filled the arena, accusing him of abuse, theft, and manipulation. The crowd's cheers turned to murmurs, then outrage. Langston stood, face pale, and stormed out, security trailing him. The next morning, the news broke. Langston had been expelled from the Recording Academy. His remaining clients dropped him, and his agency folded. Aisha's lawsuit settled in her favor, with Langston ordered to pay millions in damages. But the real victory was her performance. She didn't just win Album of the Year, she won the narrative. Beyonce, presenting the award, called her a force, a sister, a revolution. Aisha's acceptance speech was simple. This is for every black girl told she's too much, you're enough. Aisha's story didn't end there. She launched a foundation to support young artists of color, ensuring they'd never face the control she did. Her next album, Unbroken, was already in the works, promising to be her boldest yet. Langston faded into obscurity, a cautionary tale of power misused. What did you think of Aisha's comeback? Share your thoughts below, and let us know where you're watching from. Chicago, London, Nairobi, or beyond. Let's keep the conversation going and celebrate the power of standing tall.